Hey, good morning. It's Fern once again. Time for another Lessons of the Week. This week I want to talk a little bit about how we can help dogs feel more comfortable around us. I did a session a few days ago with a 10-month-old German Shepherd named Hunter. Beautiful, beautiful dog, but also, unfortunately, very anxious with pretty much just about anything. Anxious, really difficult to walk outside because it's nervous around sounds, sights, cars, people, dogs, you name it. Just didn't get a lot of socialization early on, and just developed some of these anxieties. And it would be, before I got there, they would, I asked a lot of questions to find out, what I was walking into, and they described, how he would bark, and be very standoffish when people come in, very nervous, and bark, withdraw, back, withdraw, typical anxiety type behavior. So when I got there, I knew this going in, so what I wanted to do was make myself as approachable as possible and as less confrontational as I could make myself. So when I came in, I just thought about what I wanted to do, and I made sure that I made my body language and my actions very not very confrontational, really. I just wanted to make the dog feel as comfortable as possible with me. And instantly the dog reacted totally differently than it ever has reacted before. Usually it would bark right away. It did not utter a sound when I came in. It actually came and sniffed me right away, which is a great sign. That's what I want dogs to do, is be dogs. And that's, my feet probably smell like 50 different dogs, so there should be a lot of nice scent on there that I want their nose to be attached to right when they meet me. So the dog didn't do all the stuff that they told me, and they came immediately. I was, armed with grilled chicken. Whenever I'm dealing with a dog with anxiety, I pull out all the stops. So I grilled up chicken the night before, and I made sure I smelled very yummy. So I was hand feeding within 10 seconds. And when we sat down and started talking, I'm like, well, is this a normal reaction? They said, absolutely not. The dog usually never warms up to people right away. Sometimes it doesn't warm up with people at all. And it's not because I'm a trainer or anything special, it's just because I did things specifically with my body language, my eye contact, my energy, that made the dog feel at ease. And we can do that. Too many people see an anxious dog and they think they're just going to win it over. And, they do that by just saying, oh, look, I'm friendly, hi, no, here, I'm friendly, hi. And they go right into the dog's personal space, and their energy is very high. That makes an anxious dog very uncomfortable. When any time you're dealing with a dog with any kind of anxieties, you want to let the dog do things on their terms, at their pace, which means the dog is coming to you. You are never going to the dog. And there's a couple different things we can do to make anxious dogs feel more comfortable. Number one is never making direct eye contact with them. In the dog world, eye contact can be seen as a confrontation. So when you have an anxious dog, you never make direct eye contact with them. When I came in to see Hunter, not only did I not make direct eye contact with him, but I made sure I never directly faced him. So if he was where you are in front of me, I would position myself just a little bit to the side. If he moved, I moved. I made sure we were never lined up head to head, because that can be seen as a confrontation. And if he's anxious, he's very alert to those type of things. So right off the bat, you just make sure you're never physically oriented in front of the dog and never making eye contact. You're looking kind of out of the corner of your eye, or you're just making eye contact and moving on. That alone can make a huge difference. My body language is also going to be very relaxed. Typically when I talk about body language and working with dogs, I say to stand very confidently, and typically that's always the case. With an anxious dog, I just go and make a little conscious effort to be very relaxed and to almost, be a little, not stand as straight as I normally would. I want to be very relaxed and fluid so that he's not sensing any kind of tension or any kind of a, confrontational body posture. You want to make yourself as loose as possible. The more stiff a person is, the more tension there. So I would just, make your body language nice and easy. Make sure your shoulders could be rounded a little bit. It's kind of the opposite I do for dogs that are, when I'm trying to show a lot of, doing a lot of leadership with dogs, where I'll stand, kind of straight, not militantly straight, but, like I had a great night's sleep type of straight, but I relax a little bit more with anxious dogs because I want them to feel that relaxed energy. Now I've worked with anxious dogs before, so it's easy for me to be relaxed when a dog is showing signs of tension. For you, it may not be that easy, but just try to be as relaxed as you can. Don't overthink it too much. So then as I came in, I turned my back to Hunter immediately. That made him very comfortable. Typically when people would come in, they would walk, see him, he's a big German Shepherd, and they would just stare at him, and that immediately caused him to react, and then they continued to stare at him as he reacts, as they got a little nervous. So I immediately walked in and turned my back to Hunter. That's what caused him to come over and sniff me, because he felt comfortable, and he is moving toward me. That's the big thing with anxiety. They need to be the ones to move forward. As their bodies move forward, their minds move forward. So you're helping him, by having him make the first step, taking those first steps forward. That's huge. So he's moving forward on his own terms. That's progress, forward progress. I love it. He's got to sniff me. Immediately, I hand him a piece of chicken. Now, if he was really anxious and wouldn't approach me, I'd be throwing chicken at a distance, but he showed me he was ready to come right up, and I was hand feeding almost instantaneously, and at that point, I was his best friend. And then he was very comfortable with me in the house. I could move freely, where an anxious dog sometimes may get nervous when you stand up after you've been seated for a long time. He was very comfortable with me. In fact, I kept giving him chicken at, random spots, and then he was seeking me out. He would come over to me. He would turn his back to me. For an anxious dog, usually they don't take your eyes off you. That's showing me he's very comfortable with me. So within seconds, this all happened very quickly. He became very comfortable and at ease with me, and I could do anything I wanted. I was petting him over the head. I was doing all this stuff that I normally would never do, but he was showing me he was ready. And you never want to go out to pet an anxious dog right away. I didn't actually physically give him a lot of affection until he was continually coming to me. I was giving him some pieces of chicken, scratching him underneath. And then as he was doing really good like that, he was so relaxed that I started to take a little more liberties, and I pushed the envelope. Then I went over pet him over his head. That's usually not the first thing you want to do with an anxious dog. You want to always go underneath the chin. But he was showing me he was ready for it. And he was totally at ease with me the rest of my session there. And they said that is totally unlike anything that's happened to him before. And it's not because I'm a trainer or anything, it's just because I made myself very approachable and likable. Sure, the chicken helped, but there's nothing wrong with that. For anxious dogs, I want people to be very rewarding. So there's nothing, more rewarding than a piece of meat. So use that. But your body language and your energy will go a long way to making that dog feel comfortable. So just, don't try too hard. And remember, you're never going to the dog. As much as you may want to go pet that dog, you don't go to the dog always comes to you. That's why with the food, if he's not coming to me, I'm going to throw it at a distance, then slowly closer, closer, closer till I'm hand feeding. I want him moving forward, always him moving forward on his terms. So keep that in mind whenever you're working with any kind of, if you have a dog that's anxious or has some anxiety issues. The way you present yourself can go a long way to making that dog feel comfortable instantly. All right? That's it. Have a great day. Enjoy this fall. I'll see you soon.